Okay, you guys ever see something and when you see it, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna tell myself to just never talk about that again? Could be walking in on someone going to the bathroom, it could be walking in on someone naked, anything weird like that. Okay, well, anyway, yesterday I was taking my dog home from my parents, and when we got back to my apartment, it was like a little bit darkish outside, meaning everybody had their kitchen lights on and you could just see into people's windows as I was walking by going to my room. Anyway, I walked past my neighbor's room and I looked to the right, you know, just being observant, I don't know, just kind of looking around. I didn't mean to be looking into his apartment, but I did, and like their blinds were pretty much open. And it was a guy and his girlfriend. They were wearing like underwear and stuff, but they were not fully dressed. And she was doing a handstand and he was holding her legs in the middle of their living room. And to make matters worse, they were just looking right out the window. Granted, I was walking around the back of the building, so they didn't expect someone to be walking through their backyard at like 10 at night. But yeah, man, when he saw me, because me and him made eye contact, he just threw her legs right to the side and then he went and slammed the shades shut, and I don't think I'm going to be able to talk to my neighbor ever again. Not saying what they were doing was like bad or weird. I mean, it was definitely a little bit weird, but I don't know what it was. It was probably just like a TikTok trend, honestly. Either way, just another awkward encounter I'm going to have to deal with for the next year of my life. Alright, what is up guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing something that's been kind of requested in a different sense than this, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be predicting stats of NFL players today, specifically quarterbacks in today's episode, and I'm only going to be doing 16 of them. Why 16? Well, because it's exactly half and I have no idea how long this video is going to take. I don't want to get to like the 20th quarterback and be like, oh my god, this is going to be a 40-minute video. So we're going to do 16 quarterbacks, no particular order. I hand selected them. If you guys like this video, give it, I don't know, okay, so if we get 2,500 likes on this video, I will do the other half of the NFL quarterback sometime either this week or next week. How much you want to bet my car insurance is expired or some dumb shit? Hello?
Mesh implant surgery.
I thought they were talking about hemorrhoids there for a second. I was like, what? Anyway, regardless, we're getting off topic now, guys. Head over to gfuel.com. Use code WyattzWorld to save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. Now, I'm going to go predict some players. Okay, so before we actually hop into the list, I'm just going to be going over what I'm going to be predicting. Passing yards, passing touchdowns, and interceptions. I'm not going to go into rushing touchdowns or rushing stats for quarterbacks. They're quarterbacks. They're throwing the ball. I don't give a shit how they're going to run. Not in this video, at least. Alright, so of course, to start off this list, we've got to go with Josh Allen. Stat line for Josh Allen after this season, I have 4,300 yards, 40 passing touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Stats are a little bit worse but better in certain areas than they were last year. He's got basically the same offensive core, except he added Emmanuel Sanders. They're trying to develop Dawson Knox, and they just picked up, I don't know, Disley or Hollister, one of Seattle's tight ends. They will be passing. I think Josh will hit the 40 touchdown mark. However, the reason I think he's not going to throw as high as he did last year is because I want Buffalo to establish a goddamn run game. Whether it's Josh himself or Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Matt Breida, Antonio Williams, I just want Buffalo to run the ball. A little bit. Just that fucking much, guys. Alright, up next we got Sam Darnold, and I have him shocking quite a few people. But I have Sam Darnold passing for 3,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. You might look at those numbers and be like, you know, it's not the greatest, and they're really not. But compared to what he was doing in New York, this is going to be, it's going to be a Josh Allen-sized leap for him. You know, I don't think Carolina's going to make a playoff push or anything this year. They could certainly do it next year or the following year after that. However, I think this year, Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, they even have some young studded rookie right now. Sam is going to have weapons. He's going to make some plays. He's going to make some foolish mistakes because he's still undeveloped, but overall, he's going to have a good year, and he's going to show the Panthers that they got their guy. It'll by far be the best year of Sam's NFL career, and hopefully just the start of a long career in Carolina, because that's where I want to see him stay. Alright, moving on to Baker Mayfield. Great year coming out of him too. I got him at 3,850 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Yes, 8 interceptions. I don't think Baker is going to have the most passing stats, but I think he's going to have a clean-ass slate, dude. He's getting better and better with the ball every single week. When you got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the backfield, as a quarterback, you're just not going to have the opportunity to throw for 5,000 yards. It just won't exist. He's not going to have the chance to throw for 50 touchdowns. That opportunity won't exist. So what I'm saying is that I think Baker Mayfield is going to have the best possible year he could. I don't want to be unrealistic, but I want to give Baker some credit here. He's going to be good. Okay, up next, we'll get this fucking guy out of the way. Patrick Mahomes. No, I don't hate him. Like I said, I'm so annoyed of hearing about him. 4,500 yards, 42 passing touchdowns, 8 or 9 interceptions. Okay, last year Mahomes threw for 4,700 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 6 picks. The year before that, he threw for 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 picks the year he got hurt. And the year before that, where he was an MVP, he had 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. That's pretty much where I'm pulling these numbers from. I just look at his numbers and I'm like, I'm going to give it an educated guess. Their offense hasn't really changed too much. They're going to continue to throw the ball as much as they can. Why fix what's not broken? I'm sorry, there's no way Patrick Mahomes is just going to show up and be ass. Like, that's not going to happen. All right, up next we got Dak Prescott, and I have number 4 throwing for 4,444 yards. I picked that number obviously because of his number, but I also have him throwing 34 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Yeah, I think Dallas is going to be throwing the ball a shit ton regardless of the shape Zeke is in. They want to use CD as much as they possibly can. They want to use Amari. We saw what was happening last year, for Christ's sakes. Dak was on pace to throw for 6,000. Look at the receiving core. Look at the shitty defense Dallas has. They're going to be coming from behind a lot. They're going to be needing to pass the ball. Oh, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous if I'm going to be like, oh yeah, Dak's just going to come back from an ankle injury and just repeat what he was doing last year. No, that's fucking insanity. But I do think he's going to be strong start to finish, throwing the ball consistently week in, week out. He'll throw for the most touchdowns in his career. He'll also throw for the most interceptions in his career. But overall, Dak Prescott will probably have one of the most convincing years of his career, especially after this huge contract extension. Cowboys as a team, no, they'll be dog shit, but Dak will be okay. All right, up next we got Jimmy Garoppolo, and I have him throwing for 2,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and he loses his job mid-season. They drafted Trey Lance for a reason. They know his arm isn't good enough. They know he's not good enough. If Jimmy Garoppolo plays the entire season as a starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, I will legitimately be fucking shocked. San Francisco is going to be somewhere in the 500 realm. It's going to be mid-season. They know they're going to have to make a move. It's going to be a close game. They're going to be like, oh shit, Jimmy can't fucking do it. Hey, Trey, come on. And please, for the love of God, Washington, do not trade for him. Up next, we got Tom Thumb himself, Tom Brady. So, this is where I got Tom's season going. 4,200 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Okay, look at his passing game. Look at his weapons. Look what he did last year. Now, the reason I have his passing yards kind of descending is because, kind of like Buffalo, except the Buccaneers, not only do I think they're going to establish a running game, I know they're going to do it. Not that they didn't have one before, but I'm just saying they're going to want to try and save Tom as much as they can. They saw Leonard Fournette kind of play his ass off in the playoffs. Ronald Jones can still play as a running back. They just got Gio Bernard. I know he's a receiving back, but it still helped. I see an increased role in the running position, but I still see Tom having a Tom Brady year, especially with, Gronk, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, OJ Howard. I just think his arm is going to slow down a little bit from last year, specifically because they're trying to save him. And I feel like that's just common sense for me to be thinking that they're not going to want a 43-year-old guy out there throwing the ball every single play, especially when he doesn't need to. All right, up next, let's get him out of the way. Kirk Cousins. Kirk, I have staying around where he was last year, except doing a little bit worse. Last year, Kirk Cousins threw for 4,265 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. I don't know how people call that shit, by the way. It's top 10 numbers. What the fuck do I know? Regardless, I have Kirk descending a little bit, like I said, 4,100 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Got Jefferson, got Thielen, they got D.D. Westbrook. I think BC's out for the year, but the Chad Beebe American fucking dream is still there. I hate that goddamn guy so much. Minnesota, please understand that that's never gonna happen. Not ever! Thankfully, also, Jefferson's injury is not serious. He'll be back by week 1, but Kirk's gonna want to be giving him the ball. He's gonna be wanting to give Thielen the ball. He's gonna be wanting to throw to his slot. Delvin Cook can catch the ball. Mike Zimmer's already said there should be an expanded role for Irv Smith, finally. Kirk should be great. The only reason I see his passing numbers going down is just because he has Delvin Cook. Delvin's gonna run the ball 300 times a year, man. Kind of like Baker Mayfield, there's just not much Kirk can do to give himself more opportunities. All right, up next we'll go as opposite from Kirk Cousins as we can get, Lamar Jackson. But Lamar, I have pretty much having the best year of his career. It's a side of his MVP career. We saw it last year. Teams are starting to catch on to Lamar, man. He's got to start throwing the ball, and we know he can throw the ball, and they're going to have him throw the ball. They just picked up Rashad Bateman. They got Sammy Watkins. They got Hollywood, who's going to be useless, but they have him. They have Mark Andrews. J.K. Dobbins can catch the ball too. That being said, Lamar, I think, is going to have a career-high 3,600 passing yards, 31 passing touchdowns, but a career-high 13 interceptions. Now, with him throwing the ball more, he's probably going to throw more interceptions. Unless you're Aaron Rodgers, it just makes sense. Don't judge a quarterback on a fucking spiral. It's stupid. Yeah, does Lamar throw a duck? Absolutely he does. But I have him passing more because he has to. If Baltimore wants to win, if they're going to continue to run him, they're going to continue to lose when it matters the most in the playoffs. Another call. Oh my God. What's this one? Jesus Christ. Hello, thanks for wasting my time. Hello, thank you for wasting my time. Hello. That's how you win. Up next, we got Jared Goff. I got Goff throwing for 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions in Detroit. Okay, they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. They're going to be down every single game. It's just the fact that he doesn't have any weapons. Got Hawkinson, he's got Swift, that is all. Kind of like I said about Baker, I think he is going to be doing the absolute best he can in the position that he's given. And he is going to show Detroit that they're okay with him. He's going to be a good quarterback there for years to come. I've never once talked shit about Jared Goff, by the way. Because I believe it. I don't believe he's bad. I think he's going to have very similar numbers, a little bit shittier than he had last year with the Rams and the year before. But you're going to get that when you go to a much, and I mean much, shittier team. All right, up next, I got to talk about him, Derek Carr. 4,080 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions for Derek Carr. That sounds like a Derek Carr year to me. Look, ever since he's had Darren Waller, he's thrown for 4,000 yards in a season. I don't think that's going to change at all, especially adding John Brown. That's just more speed. If Darren Waller's not open, you got Ruggs and Brown who are going to be probably 70 yards downfield. As much of a heavy run offense guy John Gruden is, he does give Derek Carr opportunities. However, I think that's going to descend a little bit because they have now Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs pounding the rock. How many times last year did we see them get to the 1 yard line and John Gruden would just force feed the ball to Josh Jacobs? Not saying that's not what you shouldn't do, but he's got another potential #1 running back in back of Josh Jacobs. Carr is going to get a little bit of his break. His stats are going to take a little bit of a descend, but I expect him to hang right around where he's been the last, I don't know, 3-4 seasons. Alright, and it looks like the remainder of this list is actually just a bunch of young guys. So we'll start off with Justin Herbert. Okay, this year I got Justin Herbert throwing for 4,150 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. He's going to have more experience this year. He's going to have Eckler there, who can both catch and run the ball, which is kind of why I think his passing yards are going to take a little bit of a hit. Because, I mean, they're going to want Eckler to run when he can. I have his touchdowns pretty much right where they were last year, but I do think his interceptions are going to go up. Why? Well, because reality is going to have to kick in eventually, all right? And I think he likes to take shots even when he's uncertain about them, and that is what is going to get him in a little bit of trouble. Not a lot. Like I said, the stat line I just named off is fucking fantastic. Herbert should be good, and I really hope the Chargers make the playoffs. Alright, up next we got Zach Wilson. I have him struggling, I do. No, I don't think he's going to lose his job or anything. He's not going to have that bad of a year. But Zach Wilson I have passing for 3,400 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Not great numbers, but they're not terrible. They're going to be better than Darnold ever put up, I think. Not because he's better than Darnold, just because they have a better team than they had with Darnold. They don't have Adam Gase like they had with Darnold. But it's a rookie year in New York on the Jets with a brand new coach and pretty much a brand new team. He's not going to be lights out, and to this day, I still think Justin Fields should be the one wearing that jersey. Alright, up next, we're going to be moving on to Trevor Lawrence, Mr. #1. I think we got the Rookie of the Year right here, other than Kyle Pitts. If I had to guess Trevor's stats, I'm going to say they're not high, but they're going to be very good. Trevor Lawrence, I have throwing for 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. Okay, he doesn't have the best weapons in the world to throw the ball to. I think he's going to do what he can with them. But the thing about Trevor Lawrence that I think he'll always be exceptional at is being smart with the ball, keeping it in a safe place, not turning it over. And I think he's going to take pride in that, and I think that's always going to be looked at. Jags won't have a great season either because they don't have the roster for it. However, I think Trevor is going to look fantastic. Up next, we got Jalen Hurts. How is he going to do? You guys know I love him. How do I see him doing this year? Well, Jalen Hurts I have throwing for 7,000 yards. Jalen I have very similar to Trevor. I know I don't talk about scrambling, but his yardage, I mean, Jalen is a runner, so I only have him throwing for 3,800 yards. He does have a cannon, but like I said, he likes to move. I'm not going to talk about it. Aside from the 3,800 passing yards, I got him throwing 26 touchdowns and only 10 interceptions. Okay, a couple reasons. I watched Jalen endlessly in college. He never threw for more than 10 in his entire college career. Now, I know the NFL is a completely different game, but much like Trevor, I think Jalen's smart with the ball. Now, don't show me the fucking Dallas highlights from last year. He had a bad game. He had a really shitty game. And that's going to happen. Everyone has bad games. But this offseason, how he's been preparing himself, the time he's been putting in, the work he's been putting in off the clock with each one of his tight ends and receivers individually. Jalen he's a leader, but he's a smart fucking guy. And I think Philly will be happy that they didn't trade for Deshaun Watson. Well, at least yet. And finally, we gotta save him for last. Daniel fucking Jones is stupid. Okay, I'll be honest. I have him having a better year than he's ever had. This is his career year. Because if he doesn't, he's gone. This is it. This is the Daniel Jones farewell tour. If he doesn't provide decent numbers this year, there's no shot in hell he starts there next year. They can't afford it. I got Daniel Jones throwing for 3,550 yards, 26 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. I don't think he's smart with the ball. I don't think he's good with the ball. But I think that this year is going to get him a cushion. Those numbers I just said weren't great, but they're a lot like Jared Goff's that I had in Detroit, all right? Especially, I mean, I don't think the Giants will make the playoffs. I still think their offense is too dysfunctional for it. 7 convincing wins, that'll be enough to get him another year. Those are cushion numbers. They're not great, but they're better and they're, well, serviceable. The guy looks scared every time he snaps the fucking ball, man. You can't do that as a quarterback. He looks like this. Have some fucking confidence. Jesus Christ. Alright guys, and that is going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, smash that thumbs up button. If this gets 2,500 likes, I'll do the other half of the league. If you guys like this video, you already know what to do. Besides smashing the thumbs up, I don't want to say that again. Comment, subscribe, turn the bell on. This is a weird outro, man. Oh my god. I messed everything up by saying like right away. Regardless, you know what to do. I post every single day. If you guys want to send anything to my P.O. box or follow me on any of my social medias, the link and address will be in the description of this video as well. Other than that, guys, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm gonna hop off and edit this shit so you guys can watch it. Wow! Dude, this intro is so backwards. As always, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.